Hey guys, and CS Fan 001 here, walking the road to my 358th Platinum Trophy. You guys already saw it unlocked. Today's game was X-Men Destiny for the PS3. This is a really crappy movie tie-in superhero game. It is one of the worst games I have played in recent memory. And it also, the Platinum Trophy it ended up being a lot harder than I expected, and we'll get into that in a moment. But the main reason I did this game is because I needed to complete a game that starts with X, and this is the first one I've done so far that started with X. There aren't a whole lot of options for it, so I went ahead and picked this one. I probably should have looked a little more into it and tried to find something either a little bit better or a little bit easier, but at least it's done, so I never have to do another game that starts with X again unless I want to. So, yeah, that means that the only letter I have left in the Platinum the Alphabet type challenge would be Z, and I'm going to do probably Zero Time Dilemma for that, which is a visual novel for the Vita. So anyway, you have your first few trophies here are all story related, so those are all unmissable. This one, you have to play through the game twice pretty much no matter what, because you have to join the X-Men in one playthrough and the Brotherhood in a second playthrough. Or you can do the Brotherhood first and then do the X-Men. It doesn't really matter. So pretty much you're going to play through the game your first time on the easiest difficulty, which is very easy. Nothing problematic about that. Complete as much of the miscellaneous stuff as possible during it and pick your faction. I did the Brotherhood first. And then on your second playthrough, you will have to play through on the hardest difficulty in New Game Plus mode and join the opposing faction. That is a store-related trophy related to one of the two, I believe. I believe it's a faction-related one. That's a boss fight. That should be a boss fight. Boss fight. Those are bosses. That's a boss story. This one is a missable trophy from one of the specific chapters. It's pretty easy, though, so it's nothing too difficult. This one I think is character specific or challenge specific. This one and this one and this one, like these three, I think are all related to choosing one faction over the other in certain things. I think that's how they were. That should be story related. Those two are both specific to the different factions. That one I think might be story related. Or it might be challenge related. That one's pretty much unmissable. That one's unmissable. That one's unmissable. Leveling up all your powers is actually pretty easy because there's only about 5 of them. I mean, you probably won't get it done on your first playthrough, but it's still pretty simple. Equip a complete X gene and suit. That just means that all 4 pieces, like your suit and your 3 other abilities, all have to be related to this, all have to be the same character. So like they all have to be Wolverine or they all have to be Emma Frost or whoever. The combos I don't really think are missable, but it might take a little while to get this one. Nothing difficult with those. A lot of unmissable ones. The challenges, there's 15 total of them. None of them are too hard, especially since you can just do them from the pause menu once you finish the game. You have to find some collectibles. There's more collectibles, though, than there are needed for the trophies, which is nice. You have a few grindy trophies related to killing enemies, and it's kind of unlikely that you'll get any of these by the time you've even finished a second playthrough. So you have to do a little bit of cleanup, but nothing too difficult. I mean, you can grind it out on the easiest difficulty, no problem. Complete the game on the easy mode, medium mode, and by far the most ridiculous trophy of the game is beating it on the hardest difficulty. The hardest difficulty is actually quite challenging. It's a lot harder than I expected it to be. Basically, the first maybe 5 missions of the game, even on hard, are still pretty easy. I did them in like a 3.5 hour long drunk stream at one point. But the last 3 missions can be pretty brutal on the hardest difficulty. Actually, no, mission 7 is pretty easy as well, but missions 6 and 8 are pretty brutal on the hardest difficulty just because it's not well designed for it. Unless I was just missing something with the powers and like a very specific setup. If anyone wants to leave any good suggested setups for extreme difficulty in the comments for other people, definitely do so, because I never really found a specifically good one, and that made it a lot harder for me. I beat the final boss with a full Wolverine setup. I don't know if it was the best choice, but it worked well for me, so I mean, I guess it worked well for me. I was using the Asian girl, and her powers, like her attack, is the long range one, like the energy beam or energy balls or whatever. So I'm sure that had a little bit to do with some of the difficulty. I don't know if that was the easiest one to play as. So, oh, not messages. With that, level 63, 54%, 15,723 total trophies, 358 platinums, 1,986 golds, 3,969 silvers, 9,410 bronzes. So yeah, guys, that'll be it for this video. That is my X game done. Just need to do a Z game and the alphabet will be done, which is pretty awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and see you for the next one.